How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Scott Moss, and in today's video, we're going to be talking to my sister, Dr. Deandra Moss, who is a product manager. She has an amazing story on how she got here. Yes, we came from the same place and we have some similarities. And if you want to know more about how I got here, you can check out this video where I talk about my story. But Deandra has her own story with her own plot twist and challenges that she had to overcome. And I thought it'd be really interesting for the people trying to break into tech as an engineer, or product manager, or designer, whoever, to hear what she has to say. So let's just kick this off. I'm gonna ask her a couple of questions and I'll let her take it from here by just giving everyone a small introduction about yourself.
I hate when people call me doctor. And those closest to me know that. But I guess if you need the reminder, I have to give it to you. No, I'm kidding. I'm Deandra Moss. This guy's one of his older sisters. He has two others. I'm the cool aunt in the family. Right now, I'm a product manager for a data science and machine learning company headquartered out of New York, living on the West Coast. But y'all know our hometown is Atlanta, but so we represent wherever we at.
A-town.
Yeah, so it's a whole new pizzazz, whole new feeling for me.
So let's hop into the next question. What I wanted to, really get on the table is just a little bit about your past. Like we mentioned that you're a doctor, so you have a PhD in psychology, but there's also, a history of a professional athlete in there. And I really want you to talk about that and how you transitioned over from being a professional athlete to deciding you wanted to get in technology.
So for 10 years, I was playing basketball professionally after college, 4 years in college. And I always knew that it wasn't going to be enough, right? I love basketball. And when I first started playing, I made, $1,000 a month. That was my salary. So you could just understand right there about really starting from the bottom. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a great experience. And I learned how to be a professional. But I knew it wasn't going to be enough for me. So the time where I was living in Turkey, getting these experiences in France and Spain and Italy, I was getting my PhD. And right at the pandemic, I had been flirting with the idea of retiring. And I was ready to just walk away because I had this business idea that I really wanted to pursue. And I was like head focused and trying to,
you had them broken knees too.
Yeah, and I mean, my knees were bad. I mean, I had 7 knee surgeries, right? So I've had a long career, a lot of setbacks and ups and downs, but I was ready to move on. Right then and there, I had no money, I just retired. Getting into tech was something that I've been thinking about for a while anyway. This is my segue into tech was through engineering. In the beginning, I didn't pass those technical admissions. And I think those failures in a way were misdirections. I was fucking pissed because I had spent a lot of time.
I remember.
And at this time, summer last year, I was graduating. And I thought maybe it's not the best way to leverage my degree.
Yeah.
How can I make the most of this investment that I put into myself and to get into the tech?
Yeah.
Right?
So from engineering to UX and doing interviews as a UX person, and then all of a sudden product management. How did that happen?
There wasn't a lot of entry-level position for UX research. And I'm like, they want someone that's experienced, a little bit, polished, and I'm coming straight out of college in another industry. That's not what they were looking for.
Yeah, I also remember when you were working on your app, you were trying to figure out like a process of getting more users on and how to build the features out. And I was like, oh, that's product management. Like you need to learn a little more about that. I remember you saying like, okay, I'll go read about that for the sake of getting more users on my app. And that's when it was just like a natural thing, like, well, why don't you just actually become a product manager and get a job doing that?
Everything that I had gone through, the rejections from, I'll say misdirections from engineering, the no's in the interview with UX research, getting my PhD, the accumulation of knowledge and experience in diverse situations abroad, being an influential member in the basketball community on the team captain. It was like, yes, I've been doing this already and I didn't know it. And I was really preparing myself for that and I didn't even know it. Post-basketball, and what I realized was the 10 years, 15 years of me playing, I was managing my own product, which I was a product. I was the business, like I had to, this is my livelihood. And it all kind of made sense once I, put those two things together. And, I'm glad that, we kind of landed on product management.
You were able to get interviews at companies like Tesla and Microsoft. Being someone who isn't in tech, how were you able to do that? Maybe some practical tips for the people listening that they could do to actually be seen and be recognized by some of these bigger companies to at least get an interview.
As much as LinkedIn is it's a huge, that's what it's for, to facilitate opportunities and networking. Like, you want to be a little bit more personal and do an extra step and like find someone on Twitter or find out where they are. What else do they do? Do they write on Reddit or Substack, or do they write on Medium? All right, so if I'm looking for a product management job, I went and found other product managers who work at Tesla, or someone who's close to the product management team, for example, and I would try to reach out and make a connection and see what was going on inside the company. Like, if you like someone on Instagram, or you follow someone who's really funny, you know what I mean, that you really enjoy, it's not much effort for you to just go out and retweet them or like their posts. You just do it because you like it, you know what I mean? It feels like effort to do these extra steps for maybe a job. It has to get to the point where you're doing it naturally, as if you do any other social media engagement behavior. The second thing was started making a voice for myself in the community, writing about my experiences and the things that I've learned, my journey. Like, even if I'm terrible at something, just write about it. Like, people like to see the changes and the progress that you made.
So a lot of people might say, well, easy for you to say, Deandra, you have a PhD in psychology. Of course, you were able to get interviews at these companies. And of course, you got a job as a product manager. From your experience, how has having a PhD helped you getting a job?
Well, that's a very leading question, I would say, sir, because it didn't help me at all. It did not help me. In fact, I'm writing this other post, like I'm right in the middle, literally in the middle of writing it, aside from the series that I'm doing, because I feel like it was so important, how I felt just because I had a PhD, that I was looked over. Because I'm in an industry in tech where you got dropouts like this guy right here, super successful, you know, working at Fang and doing all, you know, got all this money, and like, I don't need a fucking PhD. I don't need an MBA. And it's this rebellion against people who have, you know, it's this middle finger, like, you know, fuck y'all are irrelevant. And I felt like that, like, why am I being punished because I took the extra step to be educated and I'm trying to learn the skills? You know, I'm not saying give me a chance just because I have a PhD, but I felt like I was being looked over because I didn't have the skills and only had the education. The PhD didn't give me shit. They didn't give me a leg up. In fact, I don't encourage someone to go out and get a higher level degree like that unless it's a personal quest. You know, I get personal satisfaction from having a PhD. It's not helping me so much in my job. The fact is, most of the things that's most important to me, that's most useful in my job, I just learned that. That's me being 10 years in Europe. That's me being fluent in Spanish. That's me learning Turkish. That's me having friends all over the world. That had nothing to do with me going to school. You know, you could save a lot of money not going to school, just living a little. Explore, be curious, right? You don't need a PhD for that. But the tech industry is open source, right? Meaning Scott's here literally spilling all the beans about how to do this. This is the blueprint. I love the open source nature of tech. Everyone wants to be helpful, and I believe that is genuine.
What are some of the perks or the things you like most about working in tech?
I think I just like being closer to, you know, my family, you know, being closer to you and Cassie, and, you know, while I love basketball and everything that it's taught me and the opportunities that it opened up for me, I think athletes sometimes we struggle with finding an identity away from sports because sports takes up so much of you mentally and physically all the time. But some of the perks that I enjoy, I can travel, I can still go over to Europe and see my friends and still work at the same time and just be a fan of basketball. Those are some of the perks, at least right now, that I'm enjoying, so.
Nice. So I think all that was really helpful. You know, I think there's gonna be some people out there that are looking at breaking into tech, and the more stories we can tell like this, the more we can put these on showcase, the more people can realize that they can also do it as well. So thanks for coming, Deandra. I know you're super busy, but what I do want to ask you is this: is there something you want anyone that's watching this video? Is there like a takeaway you want to leave them with, something that resonates with you?
This is really important. It took me a while to learn. While we want to be great at the job, learn the interview first to get through the door. I think had I done that and learned that skill sooner, maybe it wouldn't have taken me a whole year to kind of transition. Interviewing is a job and a skill in itself, and it must be mastered to get in the door to then learn to do the job.
Yeah, that's good advice. And I plan on having tons of videos about interviews from different perspectives and talking with more individuals about how the interview experience was, and maybe even doing some mock interviews. If you're actually interested in some of that, leave a comment below. And just like always, I'm listening to you all to figure out what type of videos and content that you want. So thanks for watching. If there's anything else that you want to see, like I said, leave a comment below. If you found this helpful, leave a like, subscribe. I got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Cannot wait to show y'all more things like this, interviewing other people. So very interesting stuff coming. So until next time, peace.